Hello, my name is Rusty Coones, and I have with me Cory Ness, president for 25 to 30 years of Arlen Ness Motorcycles. How you doing there, Cory?
Great, Rusty. Thanks for having me today.
Well, I'm glad you're here, man. You guys have a heck of a legacy with that company and everything you guys have done over the years. I just wanted to talk about what's going on now with you, but before that, I'd like you to kind of introduce what you've done over your life and how you got on two wheels in the first place. And I want to talk about how your dad started the company way back in the 60s and 70s. So maybe let's start out with your dad and how he evolved from working out of his house, painting, into a real motorcycle shop, and then how you kind of fell into, because I know you were a little kid when he started, and how you
Sure.
grew into the business. Okay.
Okay.
So in the 60s, your dad was painting motorcycles out of the house mostly to start with?
Yeah, that's how we got going in the motorcycle, industry. Yeah, he started painting to make some extra money. He had some other jobs. He was a mailman for a while. His dad had a furniture moving business, so he did that, and then he painted at night, and then he wanted to give the motorcycle paint thing 100% of his time. So he stopped doing everything else and painted motorcycles, did Bondo work, molded frames, all that hard work, and was able to make it work.
So I remember back in the 60s and 70s, he had a particular style that he was doing, and that was in the days with the real loud paint and a lot of molding, a lot of Bondo on their frames and all, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, there was Bondo everywhere around the garage. I definitely remember that, and I'd help out some of that stuff too.
yeah,
But yeah, he was. A lot of people were doing bikes with long front ends and that, and my dad always kind of kept it a little more drag race ish style, more petite, more clean lines, and he kind of stuck with that, and it's kind of always worked
yeah.
for my dad.
I remember with him, he didn't so much stretch the frames up on the down tubes, but he kicked out the front end and stretched it out forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like I said, he had his own like an Arlen style, you know?
Yeah, kind of long and low more so than raising
Yeah.
the neck. Yep, we did some stuff with a taller neck, but 90% of what he did was always long and low. When you think about if it was a little drag bike, he would kind of go with that styling.
Yeah, run around the Bay Area up there, and then it was making such a scene. Dave Perowitz and some of the East Coast guys were starting to do some of the same stuff, you know, and hanging out with Arlen and learning all about it, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. Perowitz and Donnie Smith, they all kind of like that kind of styling too.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, my dad made a catalog and started selling front sections, so you can modify your factory frame, stretch it out. You call them hard head front sections, and then eventually also got into the full frames, full rigid frames, and
Yeah.
and my dad always used 7/8 diameter small chromoly tubing, so that was kind of against the grain too of what a lot of people were doing. Most people would go fat. My dad would go skinny, and once again, kind of racy feel to it.
Yeah, and the chromoly it's a stronger steel. You know what I mean? So
and lighter as well.
Yeah, you can go with a smaller diameter and still be as strong. You know,
exactly.
That was a good idea, and it looked good. You know.
Yeah.
So you guys were in the San Leandro area for the first 3 locations of the shop.
Yes, yeah, all on the same street. Even it was on East 14th Street. Just probably moved a mile down the street each time.
And then, so you were there for what, about 20 years till around, or more, even 30,
25, 30 years probably.
Yeah. And then you guys got the big move up there where you're at now, huh?
Yeah. Right around, we finally got the building done right about 2000, 2002. And then we moved into this place, which was like, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times bigger than what we had. We always worked in some older places that my dad kept adding on to, and if there was an awning attached to the building, before you know it, it would be enclosed.
Yeah,
So,
that's the way to do it. Save money.
yeah, that's how it was done. And then we finally did the official thing out here, and we've never looked back. And it's been nice being in a nice place to work.
I mean, you have in this building you own over there right now, you've got 70,000 square feet, right?
Yeah, we have 70,000 feet, and we use it. We use it all. For years, we also had for the first 18, 20 years, probably about the first 20 years of having this building, we had a full showroom and a motorcycle dealership. We were a Victory dealer. We were an Indian dealer, Big Dog, American Iron Horse back in those days. And it was another extension of our business. And then during the pandemic, we no longer wanted to be a new bike dealer, so we closed it during the pandemic. And then about a year and a half or so after that, we ended up leasing the space of the showroom and part of the upstairs to a company called California Speed Sports, which sells Ducati, MV Agusta, Aprilia, Polaris, Triumph, and a lot of cool European sport bike stuff. Nice. And it's been a great addition. It's still in the motorcycle business, and we still have our museum here also. And you can still go into this California Speed Sports through the front door, and you still can help yourself walk up the stairs and go to the museum. So we still have the museum going, so everyone can still enjoy that who wants to come and visit.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, you got all your custom builds that you've saved over the years up there?
Yeah. So there's some. So we still have some history up there, and then also too, there's still our old service department. Our service manager at the time for many years, as well as our lead tech, Tim and Susie, they opened up a shop called Pro Cycle. So they took over our old service department. Now they just lease some space from us. And so we basically have 3 motorcycle companies in the building, and everyone, it's worked out fantastic. And we're focusing on Ness branded product, designing product and selling it through distribution. And the building's still a motorcycle building, and life's great. It's been working out really well.
Right on. Back in 2011, I was up at Oakland, and a buddy of mine, Steve Tossin, had bought a Victory Vision from you guys, a big red one. And we've got a bunch of Harleys lined up there, and his bike stood out, like taller, wider, everything. I mean, it just dwarfed all the FXRs and all the other stuff over there, right. And Dynas. So it attracted my eyes. So I went over there. I said, "Hey, Steve, you mind if I sit on this?" He says, "Yeah, go ahead, man." So I'm sitting on the bike, and I'm thinking, "Sure, I think I'm going to get one of these things." Yeah. So I went up to you guys' place, and I bought one. And went up there, picked it up, and rode home. And I rode that thing, the most dependable motorcycle ever, man. I rode it for 40,000 miles, and only a tail light got broken from a real hard bump that I hit on the 580.
Sure.
Unbelievably dependable, man.
They were a rock solid motorcycle. It was amazing how well they handled. They just stuck to the ground. Being a big motorcycle, and still you can have one hand on the bar and just do whatever you want, right? And they did a great job with those things.
They had the motor had the transmission integrated into the same case. They didn't have rubber mounted drivetrains, so everything was real solid. So high speed turning on the freeways, where you get that warbling effect with a rubber mounted bike, you didn't have that.
Yeah, no, it was effortless. Yeah, absolutely.
The body work on that thing, you either hated it or you loved it, but it worked. I mean, absolutely. It really, really worked. And I liked it had the electric windshield, like a few bikes have. And so I got rear-ended on the darn thing one time, and I'm always customizing everything I got. And
Sure.
a lot of the time it's really, I have to hold myself back, but I'm looking at the thing on the lift. I'm ready to fix it, and I just couldn't help myself. I tore all the bodywork off of it,
Yeah.
and I grabbed an old front fairing from a road glide, and I chopped it down shorter. And then I took the windshield was like 24 inches wide on the Vision, I think. I cut it real narrow and short, like it was like 3 or 4 inches high, but it still worked.
Sure.
And then I mounted everything up on the front a little higher with the fairing. Then I got a tank from a Hammer Victory, and
Right.
I whacked it and widened it, and then hogged it all out. I made it so it had a tank instead of two saddle tanks under the bodywork. I had a
Right.
tank on top of it.
Right.
And I
Sure.
had an external hot rod fuel pump and regulator under the fairing. And then I got Dirty Bird Concepts. John over there gave me a rear fender for a Harley with a drag real low, sleek. And then he gave me the bags, the stretch bags. And I took the fender because that on the back, the framework is all aluminum, but it's a little wider. So what I did is I cut it in half, widened it 2¼ inches so it was set over. And I made this
Mhm.
thing look like a Harley Victory. And then I went with,
Yeah.
Lloyd's out of New York. Now they're in Florida. I got that supercharger kit. And that's another thing I
Sure.
really like about the Victory is the way that you got that little drive belt coming off the right side instead of off the drive side where the primary is for your supercharger. It's really dependable.
Sure.
And I put that on there, and the thing got like 170 horsepower, 153 of the rear, 153 and a half to the rear wheel off a stock 106.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember your bike. Yeah. You went after it up for sure on that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we were at the Easy Rider show down in Long Beach, and you guys had some badass stuff up there. I can't remember the particular bike, but it
Sure.
was nice. And
Thanks.
yeah, and I had that thing up there. I didn't really intend to put it in the show, but I wrote it up. I said, well, what the hell? I'll put it in while I'm here. And I
Absolutely.
stuck it in the bagger category or something, Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
anyhow, man, you guys have, over the years, I mean, you guys have really carved a niche for yourself. You've got people all over the world using your parts. I know that you're in drag specialties, and that's a great company. And I'm sure you don't even need any of that dealership stuff anymore, right?
no. Yeah, the wholesale business and working with companies like Drag Specialties, they have 50 to 55 road reps. So I go out occasionally, but we go out and ride with the reps here and there, and they have pretty much 1 day service to all the dealers around the country. So it just works out really well, and they can. Us being based in California, and if you need to send something to the East Coast and you go by ground, you're going to burn up a week. Well, they have warehouses in New York and North Carolina, and it just makes everything better. So we focus. It allows us to focus on product design, product design, having a complete product line. And the distribution side of the business, it's kind of like you hand it over to Drag. That's what they're experts at that. We're better at product design than we are distribution. So we just we do that, and build some nice bikes to show off our product. And it's working. It's worked for over 50 years now, and we're still holding our own. So it's fun.
Another thing that I got a lot of respect for is you guys have always been a family-ran business, and your dad really spent a lot of time, and you guys always ride to Sturgis together.
Yeah. We've been. I forgot how many times my dad rode to Sturgis, but it was in the area of 38 to 42 times. He rode from California to South Dakota, and the last 15 years or so of that was, more on custom baggers, touring Victory Visions, bagger Harleys. But before that, man, he was on, for the most part, ground up customs. they wouldn't be rigids, but he would ride full custom bikes, and knock on wood, man, they were always worked out great. And if you don't bring tools, you don't need them. But if you bring tools, then you're gonna end up using them, right? So we just did bring tools, and it usually worked out.
Yeah, and those seats on those old show bikes and stuff, man, they're not comfortable, man. I know
That's the first thing to go.
I rode a panhead, rigid frame panhead to and back way back in the 80s. And my ass was so sore. I stayed at a hotel and I took the pillow. I thought that's going to save. It didn't even. I was on one cheek, then on the other cheek. You know what I mean? It was. It wasn't good, man.
When you're done, you're done. Just you can't fix it. You got to take. It's just about time then.
Heck, now at every gas stop, my butt's sore.
Oh, absolutely. That's the first thing to go.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate. Speaking of the family, we were fortunate enough to. I think three times we were able to ride with three generations with both of my boys, Zach and Max, and my dad. 1 year, my son Max was working for Indian, so he was living in Minnesota. So he met us in New Mexico or somewhere, but wherever it was, Max rode from Minnesota to meet us 800 miles on his own. One day, caught us up for dinner to ride, so we can ride at least 3 days together. With the family and all of our buddies, right? And and then a couple times from all three of us, from San Francisco area to South Dakota, but overall, and now we ride every year. My dad's unfortunately no longer with us, but still ride with my boys every year, which is awesome.
So it's tradition. Every year you're riding out there.
Yeah. We're only about a month away now. So
what are you going to ride this time? Or
I have a new or a brand used, I should say, Road Glide that's all apart now. It's out to paint, and probably get it back in a couple weeks, and I'll have a couple weeks to finish it and be good to go. But it'll be it'll be showcasing all the stuff we're doing, a few new prototypes on there as well. And
are you going to have you always have your booths and stuff out there with all your stuff on display? You going to keep doing all that? Yeah,
we'll definitely be out there. We'll have a crew, and we're generally out right in Sturgis on Lizelle at J&P Cycles store. They make it. We've been there for quite some time. It works great, and we look forward to it. Every year.
And you guys have gotten to travel the world as a family too, and ride all over the place, right?
Yeah. No, through myself, through Europe, Australia, parts of Asia. Canada should be the easy one, right? Mexico, but I actually haven't done that. Been there to some bike shows in Canada, but yeah, no, we've ridden all over the place, and it's we got friends everywhere. From guys we ride with to bike shops that carry our parts. So you can pretty much go anywhere in the world and have you got friends you can hang out with, go to dinner, talk motorcycles, whatever. It's a pretty cool industry.
Right on. Have you tried out those new kind of like an enduro style motorcycles? That are out there.
The Harley Pan America.
Yeah.
I have, but have 5 miles doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But I did, and a couple of my buddies got them now, and still sitting back on the sidelines a little bit because we make parts for most everything.
Right.
But haven't spent too much time. We have a new Sportster, the new Nightster, which is basically kind of the similar engine. Today we ordered one of the new CVOs, the Harley that's recently introduced. So it looks like that's going to be kind of a new lot of changes coming up. So we need to get one of those for keep up with the times, so,
Yeah.
So, so we're on the gas, we eat, sleep, love this stuff, but, we're a family business, but, we're a family business that's all in, we ride, we build, we work the industry, we go to events. So, a lot of the businesses, motorcycle businesses are no longer that have been around for 30 plus years. A lot of the owners are not, they've sold to private equity type situations. Right. And we're still 100% in.
Yeah. And you guys always had super high quality parts and really nice styling. I've used your stuff for years and years, and most of the time I get it through Drag Specialties.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That's what we love to do. I mean, we're still building custom bikes, but we're building less of them. But we get our fix by designing a new product. You make a new product that looks cool, functions well. Maybe, that's our little. It's almost like Christmas. Your new part comes in. Hey, that looks great. Hey, it worked. And then if it sells, that's another bonus, right?
Yeah. Have you guys come out with a bunch of products for that new Softail ST?
We make more and more for the new Softails. So I'm glad to see that it's been really popular because we make so much stuff for the bagger touring market, and so it's nice to see the Softails getting a good footprint again. Guys are buying. In fact, I was out at the Born Show. I saw you at the Born Free Show this over the weekend, and there must have saw 20 of them out there, right? So it's good to see. Good to see that getting some traction, and
that's the best Softail they ever made. It's a monoshock and it's a counterbalanced motor, so it handles great.
Yeah,
it's not they did a banana bar frame. You know what I mean? So it's got good ground clearance.
Yeah, no, they did a great job, and it's nice to see that it's doing well, and people are loving them.
Yeah, I like them when they put the old knockoff FXR P and T fairings on them too.
Yeah.
The bags, they make a cool little sport bagger.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, I think we've covered a lot of stuff here. Before we sign off, you got anything else you want to add?
Just first of all, appreciate you taking the time and you have me on the show here. And hey, we're 52 years in, 3 generations strong. My dad's been gone for 4 years now. Of course, we miss him dearly, and we're keeping what he started going. And we're just as passionate as my father was 50 plus years ago. And life's good, man. So it's awesome.
Well, you guys are top of the heap, man.
Thank you. Thanks.
Doing it.
Yeah, and my son Zach too. He's kind of my right hand man. Also here at our business, he's all in. He's got a great eye for design. He's got the same DNA as my old man, and as well as myself. So we're in good hands here for a while. So
yeah, maybe I could talk to Zach one of these times. Also,
absolutely.
Get you guys both on record.
There you go. That'd be great.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Cory. And I'll be seeing you down the road, maybe South Dakota. Who knows? All right.
All right. Thanks, Rusty. I appreciate it.
Okay.